The day that we have all been waiting for has finally arrived. The trial between Ripple and the CC is at long last drawing to a close. And are you aware of the significance of that? You have it right. The price of XRP experienced a significant increase. Right now, that is the topic that is being discussed by all of the most prominent crypto professionals. And their forecasts are just astounding to say the least. The price of XRP is expected to reach a maximum of $11,898 in the future, according to certain projections. I'm sorry, but this is not a joke. These are actual estimates that are derived from professional study and trends in the market. To clarify one point, let's look at it. It would be a shame to miss even a single second of this video. First things first, without further ado, let's get right down to business. I hereby defer. As the legal struggle between Ripple Labs and the CC has been going on for a very long time, it may finally be coming to a close. Not only with a whimper, but also with a decision that has the potential to have a significant impact on the future of XRP and the regulation of digital assets. A joint motion has been presented by both sides, which indicates that they are both interested in reaching a settlement after more than 4 years of legal battle, respectively. Rather than merely being a procedural action, the motion is more than that. Since December 2020, Ripple and XRPs have been under the scrutiny of a lawsuit, which is being resolved through a carefully negotiated effort to address the matter. A plea to lift the injunction that has been in place for a long time regarding the selling of XRPs to institutions is at the core of the action. Ripple would recover the opportunity to work with institutional partners in a more unrestricted manner if the request were granted, removing the limits that have been imposed by the court that have prevented access to a portion of the market. On the other hand, this is not simply Ripple selling XRP more than once. A digital asset that has been marginalized after winning numerous important legal battles against the CC claims is the subject of this endeavor, which tries to restore trust in the asset. Additionally, the motion provides a description of a proposed reallocation of monetary penalties. In accordance with the conditions, Ripple would receive a return of $75 million, while the Securities and Exchange Commission would receive $50 million. This change in the structure of the penalties is noteworthy not because of the sums themselves, but rather because of what they signify. One that moves away from punishment and toward resolution. Signals a rare moment of pragmatism from the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, which has typically adopted a hostile attitude against cryptocurrency companies. Cryptocurrency instantaneously. Twitter was flooded with responses. Bull Run, Wonka stated that a settlement between the SEC and Ripple was just around the corner, expressing what many people consider to be an unavoidable outcome. Jack the Rippler cited attorney Bill Morgan as saying, "A major breakthrough in the SEC versus Ripple case today." In reference to the current situation, at any moment the case will be resolved. The rising anticipation was echoed in another tweet that Steph sent out. Decision from the Ripple SAC is anticipated today. It is possible that a victory may result in large institutional inflows into XRP. Bill Morgan, a well-known legal expert and proponent of XRP, brought attention to what may be the most important aspect of the motion, which is the desire to change the final order that Judge Annalisa Torres has issued. As far as Morgan is concerned, this is not merely a formal process. That is the legal foundation upon which the proposed agreement is built. It is a difficult task to do since the court needs to be persuaded that there are extraordinary circumstances that necessitate such a modification. Unless there is a compelling justification, courts normally do not modify final rulings after they have been issued. There is a possibility that the judge will consider the request to be more about what is convenient than what is necessary. Furthermore, there is no assurance that this motion would be granted, given that a prior joint application was immediately denied earlier in this year. Despite this, optimism continues to be strong. This motion has a 70% probability of being accepted, according to attorney John Deaton, who represents more than 75,000 XRP holders. In such case, Ripple would be able to restart its activity in the larger market without any restrictions. In addition, XRP has the potential to regain its prior prominence, not only as a speculative asset, but also as a viable infrastructure layer for institutional finance. Additionally, the clearance would send a powerful signal to other blockchain initiatives that are now under pressure from regulatory authorities. It is possible to reach such resolve. Moreover, clarity is not out of grasp. Nevertheless, in the event that the court declined to grant the motion, it would result in additional delays, increased uncertainty, and a protracted chill on the institutional use of XRP. In addition, the ramifications for the market as a whole would be highly substantial. This case has been regarded as a litmus test for the manner in which the laws governing securities in the United States are interpreted in connection to cryptocurrency. A positive judgment for Ripple would call into question the enforcement strategies now being utilized by the SEC and might potentially influence the way that future cryptocurrency matters are handled. Not only does this moment feel significant for Ripple and to those who have XRP, but it also feels significant for an entire sector that has been yearning for transparent and equitable regulation. It is possible that the future ruling of the court will mark the beginning of a new chapter, one in which one no longer needs to be concerned about lawsuit at every step of the innovation process. In the meantime, the cryptocurrency community waits, holding out hope that this legal marathon might finally be getting closer to its penultimate sprint. And naturally, in anticipation of Ripple's victory, experts are forecasting a crazy increase in the cryptocurrency market. I can assure you that this is greater than anything that we have ever seen before. The approval of this request by Judge Torres will not just be a victory from a legal standpoint. It will be the signal for significant amounts of institutional capital to pour into XRP. You are about to discover the reason why this signal has the potential to be the most bullish in the history of cryptocurrency. They laughed at Noah as a result. Up until the point where it began to rain, Emonix tweeted, "At this point they are laughing at XRP. Allow them to do so." The arc closes in on completion. The use of words like that speaks to something that goes beyond the cycles of the market. It is about having faith in a system that has been challenged, misinterpreted, and disregarded on multiple occasions, but does not appear to have disappeared. The emotional energy that is driven by these forecasts is reaching its peak. It was written by Steph that XRP is on the verge of exploding exactly like Bitcoin did. In addition, if you read through the cryptocurrency Twitter account, you will see post after post that is filled with really lofty goals. According to Crypto Sensei, manifesting $10,000 worth of XRP. Even farther, Brett pushes the envelope. Perhaps XRP will reach $11,898. Then there is the tweet that went viral thanks to Barry C. "I need you to explain your reasoning to me." They presented a more realistic viewpoint, stating that if XRP were to reach the market size of Bitcoin, it would most likely price closer to $35 rather than $1,000. They came to the conclusion that $1,000 is a unicorn dream. Nevertheless, dreams are difficult to fulfill. It is well known that the XRP army is extremely resilient, even if there are detractors who believe that these price objectives are more of a myth than a mathematical calculation, such as Robert Smith. I have been observing this ever since the introduction of XRP, as well as the fact that it has not even come close to it, he wrote. With each passing day, there is a countercurrent of disobedience that is becoming more and more powerful. Let's not mince words.